Slay.
Yo.
How are you doing today, baby?
I don't even know.
Oh,
I don't even know.
tell me what's going on. How have you been? It's been too long for streaming purposes. This is falling.
For streaming. And it's so funny because I was having a conversation yesterday about it, and I was like, I've been more productive than ever. So like the not
Real.
streaming guilt has been wild, but I put some love energy into the Claws and Code Instagram yesterday, and I found this.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you. I found this sub community of streamers that all have cozy in their like name or in their bio, and it's all like the streamer girls with the coolest keyboards, coolest desks, coolest like tech accessories, coolest nails, coolest everything. And so I mass followed as many of them that I possibly could, which was a vibe. But I had a couple of them hit me up like, are you streaming? And that's when I felt the guilt. So when you've been trying to shame me for the past few weeks, I felt no guilt. But when the cozy girls were like, do you stream? Let's connect.
Wow.
Twitch.
Wow. It's fine. It's
it.
fine. I was in San Francisco anyways, so I was doing the most and couldn't stream, and now I'm, I don't have claws on. I can barely code.
Talk to me. So I do have your set here, which I will send at some point. I like the shape on them, but yeah, I've got to get some more vibes. Do you want to maybe talk to me about San Francisco highlights? Because we didn't really unpack. We talked a little while you were there, but I was trying not to be needy. You know what I mean? I knew you were in a house full of creatives, so
yeah. So I went out there and I was staying at a house full. It was full because I was visiting, and then one of the other roommates had two friends visiting from Japan. And I was visiting for Config, and the friends from Japan were visiting for a marching band competition because they were part of the Blue Devils, which, if you don't know marching, the Blue Devils is like the best in the business, but I think it's for high schools. So these were like one of the roommates is in college, and so they were college age, and they came over. So I think they had like been former members and wanted to watch and support the competition. But Blue Devils win this competition like every single year. They're like the best of the best of the best of the best. So that was cool. It was cool to hang out with them.
What instruments did they play?
I don't remember, but also it was like the roommates, like one of the roommates plays clarinet and is a cable guy and writes gay porn and is just like he's who I was visiting. She's
gay
really
porn,
cool.
Meaning writes like novels, writes like gay anime, like
comic strips and smut.
Comic strips and what?
But smut. So their whole house is decorated in gay porn. Every single place I look, like if you have like like the thing that runs on the floorboards and around door frames, like covered in comic strips of porn. Just
oh my gosh. But also
like
lit,
everywhere it said like the above the mantle there was just a print that had nothing on it except the word prostitution.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and that's why I couldn't stream.
So what does a professional gay porn writer earn a year?
I have no idea.
Oh my god. Enough to live in San Francisco.
Yeah. But also there's 4 roommates. So,
Sarah pulled up. What's good, Sarah? We're talking about Jay went out to Config, which is a Figma conference. This was maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, and one of the roommates was a gay porn writer. So we're talking about the house and the whole
I loved it.
Career.
I thoroughly thrived. Like everywhere I went, there was just, and I took so many pictures because it was great. Like they used to have a ball sack as a door knocker, but their landlord was like, maybe not.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the roommates were artistic. There was a piano player.
Oh yes. So she was lovely. She's this like 40-something-year-old Taiwanese lady who her father passed away while I was out there, and so she was like practicing piano to remember him by. So sweet. We didn't hook up or anything, but she gave me a butt plug and said something to remember me by.
Was she the one that kept was she misgendering you, or she was using the wrong pronouns? And
yeah, but she apologized.
She was so apologetic, and like she was like, I know, she was like, she kept coming back in the room like, I just want you to know. I just want you to know. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And it was so funny. It was just bad because I kept committing trans on trans crime because my friend who I stayed with out there, his pronouns are she, he, not they, and all of my other friends are all they, thems, and so it's really hard because I'm just so used to saying they.
Oh my gosh.
That I had the opposite problem.
That's really funny.
Bad.
That's really funny.
Yeah, but he's bigender, and so yeah.
All right, so you had the pianist, you had a clarinet player, you had a gay porn writer.
No, clarinet player is the gay porn writer.
Of course. Tell me about the conference.
Oh, and one of them's like a therapist, but like a manager of therapists. Or something. I don't really know. Maybe. Wait, no. Therapy has nothing to do with it. Actually, I'm great at this. So config.
Config. Shout out to everybody at Figma who, I'm sure things have kind of quieted down since the announcement of AI and all of the designers, at least in my circle, having that gut-wrenching, fear of their original and proprietary work being shared to power this generative AI tool. I know some of the...
How do you turn that off again? I didn't do it yet.
I have it saved. I also remember... So I have like a bookmark of things. Well, I have a bookmark folder of things that I wanted us to talk about when you came back from Config. That was one of the things. But I think at some point there was rumors that the AI function was turned off, like they backed out of it, and that you kind of have to opt into it, this, that, and the third. And then I think that there was a prompt that kept creating the Apple Maps weather app over and over again, which was also a thing. But did you go, like, was there talk about that while you were there? Did anybody care? Okay.
Yeah, and people were just like, it created like the same weather map, and then it's like, well, no, they paid someone to design a bunch of systems that the AI was using, and it's just that they didn't pay for enough systems to be trained on to look different, and whoever they designed the system for, whoever designed that, kind of ripped off the Apple weather map. Does that make sense?
It does. And
so it's like the training data was fucked up from what I understood, but maybe I misunderstand the problem.
So right now I'm in Figma. I can share my screen, can't I? Right now I'm in Figma desk view. I don't think there's an easy way for me to do that, actually. Let's try. Let's see. Socials, live. No, I think I don't have like, I need to make a scene. I need to make a scene with my face and my desk. I think I only have scenes with like my desk view cam. But right now I'm creating a mesh gradient. in Figma, right? And I am going to create and generate, I don't know, maybe I'm going to use 16 color points to create this gradient that's going to go behind these gift cards that I'm designing for Clause and Code. And like, I don't want my baby to be used for generative AI, right? And so it's like
Yeah.
every time that I come in here to do anything that's bespoke, it's in the back of my mind. It's in the back of my mind. Like, is this thing that I'm using my lifeblood and DNA and 2 decades of being an art kid experience, is that being used?
Right.
You
And they're
know, for
training AI to replace me right now.
right, right.
Like, they're taking all of our work and they're like, let's just train an AI on all of the work of all these designers, and then you won't need designers anymore.
And like
And I
this mesh
noticed
gradient, like
that
all
the
the points, like I'm meticulously like moving the handles and like creating this very bespoke vibe.
I don't know if you noticed, but the tagline for config this year changed so that you can tell that who they're marketing to is more of a tool for everyone rather than a tool for designers. It said
Right.
a conference for people who build products, not a conference for designers. And then they announced the AI stuff.
How does that make you feel?
I think what they're trying to do, honestly, is make up for the fact that product design was not taught as a discipline. And because it was
Right.
not taught as a discipline,
That made it
product
great.
designers are not good at visual design. And visual designers don't understand product design at all.
I have a story for you about that, but yeah, keep going.
Because of what you share, or what we were talking the other day where I had built out like a really good UI for this, but they needed like, they wanted also to do personas work. And I like was talking to the CEO had different needs. CEO needed UI. The other people on the team, like the developers and stuff, needed the personas, but unfortunately, like that would take like way too long for me to like understand their product and stuff, that we just don't have funding, like so it's like but all that to say, like UX is just a completely different discipline from UI, and they want people to be able to do both, which you should be able to, but one is a study in how people are using your app, and one is you need to understand color theory, you need to understand typography, you need to understand users and how they interact with different types and stuff like that. But it's a different wheelhouse, and because we don't have these educational disciplines for it in school yet, because it's such a new field, the software comes along and I was like, what if we just took the visual design decision making out of it and we just did it to where it automatically does it based on all of the designers' data that we've had for the past 5 years.
And so I was cutting you off when I was saying that's what made it great. You heard when I kept saying that's what made it great. That's what made it
Sorry.
great. That's what made it great. No, you're right. You're good. That's what made it great. Being a multidisciplinary designer 3 years ago, and 4 years ago, and 7 years ago, and 10 years ago, because I was a unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Design engineering, front end design, understanding color theory, the fact that I went to art school, right? Working in marketing, working in corporate. I was a unicorn. Now there are so many algorithms that are studying the work that I created, which was all, right, like a culmination of all of that, like street cred and that work. And so the industry is now like, I've seen some really interesting tweets where like they're like, in the next 5 to 10 years, it'll be like human generated art will be a genre, right? And so it's like, how are we going to get there? Like, how long is it going to take? Because the industry is like in a really weird place. Salaries have I've seen salaries come down for the most part, like 25 to 30% from where they were 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
For UX, UI, brand design, product design, senior lead roles. So it's just all happening in real time. This sort of like almost like dismemberment of the industry. And I think like in order to compete, you've got to embrace new technologies. And I'm testing everything that exists to see how I can incorporate it. I mean, I've done that year over year just to be competitive, but it is a scary landscape. And so, all right. So day one, so the AI features were announced at Config day one.
I believe so. And it was like during a keynote, not everyone was inside yet. And then a lot of people, apparently like the energy in the room just like was not there because you already had a lot of people there that were job hunting and then seeing, oh shit.
Right.
They're going to turn our works into prompts.
Right.
But this might be good for users in the long run because then you'll have AI or you'll have UI that is similar across apps. So maybe it will be easier for the user to understand rather than every app reinventing the wheel.
Well, I think see, it's so I see the issues that you're having, and with a couple other like junior UI people where they're working on these projects, going in with the thinking that they're really going to be focused more on the UI and the creative and the graphic design aspect of it, and then kind of being hit with a ton of bricks when they're really expecting workflows and journey mapping and UX research and user experience work. I understand that those take two different heads. I get that. I think my biggest concern is, so not only is this skill set, but also like, how many titles do we have to describe software design? So you're going to look for
so many, and we should just call it software design.
It should just be called software design. Right? So
app
it's
design.
Called, but it's not. All software is not just like. So when I think of apps, I think of smaller versions of software. Software encompasses operating systems. Software can also encompass building a browser, right? Where I don't consider a browser an app, right? So you've got software design that no one uses that term. Then you've got...
But they should. It's what accurately describes what we do.
Product design, app design, web design. Then there's the...
People, like real people, confuse product design, like outside of the tech industry, with industrial design. Industrial design meaning the design of physical products. Product design meaning the design of software.
Correct. And so I think not only does, yes, the work that we're doing is changing, but I think that as an industry, we need to jointly agree on what the new roles are. In other industries, when you're in, you're a lawyer, if you are, let's say, an architect, right? Mm-hmm. The jobs that exist in the architectural field do not change. They are what they are. They are what they are. They are what they are, right? And so I think that's also a big hindrance in matching talent with what companies need. Is that like, am I going for the UI like the senior UI designer job? Am I going for the senior UX designer job? Am I going for the senior product designer job? Am I going for to the lead, the principal? Like, is it just UX? Is it just UI? Is it UX/UI? Is it user interface? Is it human interface? Is it human experience? There's like layers. So that part is also very frustrating. And it's like, we have new technologies and we're iterating and iterating and iterating. Fair. But it's like, what are we iterating to? What is the goal? So let's look at Figma 3 years out. If Figma has its way without any resistance, and is able to use AI to create these models, then what is the role of the creative?
Things pretty? Is it to make it usable? Is it to make a really cool thing that someone can interact with? Developer might know how to do that more, but isn't good at art. And I really think that a lot of computer scientists would benefit from like a typography and color course.
For sure.
Like computer science, like the major in college needs, like, because software and like how to interact with designers, and designers should have like the basics of just like, you don't necessarily need to know code, but you should need to know the structure of a website is structured with these boxes and this and this and this. So this is why when you design something completely bespoke, this is why it's easier and like that, etc. Designing beautiful, usable experiences. And I feel like you either get beautiful, usable, like they're two separate things. Like a lot of the sites on awards, you can't even take screenshots of them. They're so bad from a user experience standpoint, but beautiful sites.
Yeah. What else was the word on the street? So other than like AI and just,
you couldn't find the coffee. They hid that coffee. They didn't bring coffee out until after lunch.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. And I think there was like, it was packed again, but it felt like last year, it felt like they were crafting these experiences for people, and like this year it felt like they didn't care a lot about the community. It felt inauthentic, and I think it's because a lot of designers got blocked by Dylan Fields, and then there's also like
and then unblocked.
Wait,
blocked
and
by
then
Dylan
unblocked,
Fields, and then unblocked the day of
config. Right.
Yes. That was wild.
And then they had to walk back all that AI stuff. Like it just felt like overcast and weird this year. Like it just, like, I don't know. And like when I was talking to people, and I think like my energy was a little bit off because I think last year I had just started this, like, I'm a tech designer at a unicorn startup. I'm fucking living my best life, balling out here with my besties. Like, and this year it was like, I need a job.
I'm in San Francisco.
And they're about to replace.
Find a bag. Yeah. And then it's not like you were out there. Like what did we go for 3 or 4 days? Last year, this year it was like, nah, I'm out here for weeks. Like I need to take meetings. I need to do coffee. I need to like, right. While working on your portfolio. Like it's a lot. Our industry is, I mean, our line of work has always been a challenge. We've always had to balance a lot. I get that. But, there is this, I felt the dark cloud on the internet, on Twitter, reading all of your experiences in real time.
But I wasn't even trying to be negative about it. Like I love my friends that work at Figma. I wouldn't I still enjoy using the software, but like it the best part of the software to me is the collaboration, and I feel like their pricing model, they're trying to kill it. But they must have made some changes because they're hiring for a person to in charge of their pricing model right now.
Oh wow. I thought that
Yeah.
I thought that it was a UX role.
It's like
It's
a
a
head
UX
of
role.
design for
Yeah.
their
Okay.
pricing structure page, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Which seems really weird because as a designer who built an entire design system for a website, and I just, do you really need that? Like someone just in charge of the pricing page? What? Like, it feels like.
I think it's more than just the pricing page. I think it's
Okay.
yeah. So the UX with pricing, my mesh gradients are looking pretty beautiful, by the way.
Oh, you're saying user experience. I was getting it
I'm
confused with
talking-
UI again. I'm like,
Yeah. So Figma, from what I see on Twitter, the Figma crew, they're incredible artists. But I think what there might be is a disconnect between product owners, the executive and leadership set, and the user base. And so the artists that are in Figma that you and I know and love, that we talk to on Twitter all the time, they really, just like you, cannot really assist in those flows and journey mapping for what the experience is like for a founder, a freelancer, someone, a CEO at a small startup, what that experience is like on the billing end.
Yeah.
Right. And that's from micro copy to prompts to reminders to like all those pieces.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's the whole experience around pricing.
Experience.
Got it. No, that makes a lot more sense.
I think that it was a good call that they're saying we need someone to look at this entire experience end to end. As Figma is incredible at like graphics and collaborating with the right agencies to make motion graphics, right? And like to present themselves as a work of art. Like Figma, like the Figma brand at the corporate level is a work of fucking art. Period. Right? But there's still so many issues as far as like, and like the stack of the amount of things you can do with Figma is great, but then you have missed opportunities with like moving back and forth between the native app and the mobile app and things being fucked up. Then you have like your big issues with vectors and doing drawing directly in Figma and the quality of your lines, right?
And it sucks because like I know they've been working on it. Like I saw Miggy being like, how can I assist with this? What do you have like put
Shout
on?
out to
And
Miggy.
I'm like,
we love you.
Yeah, we love Miggy. We love Miggy, Raji, like the whole designer advocate team. Y'all are amazing. But also, the pen tool and Figma, like they couldn't replicate the errors. And I think that's the thing is like, sometimes when I'm moving it around a corner, like that vector just goes insane. And that's not the same experience that you have in Illustrator. And I think it has something to do with because you can do mesh vectors, or like Figma's pen tool is
mesh vectors in what?
You can like connect points to where you can have like 3 lines coming out of a point in Figma, and you can't do that in Illustrator.
Yes, it's end
and
to
I
end.
think I love that about Figma, but whatever capabilities that it's going on in the code there, I think that is probably what is also fucking it up for the rasterization of the curves and stuff.
Okay. And I don't use it I don't have reasons to use it enough. Like I don't have reasons to draw in Figma enough. my aesthetic is simple shapes. Was I talking to you about how? No, I was talking to DeAndre. Shout out to DeAndre. I was talking about how, like, you know, you and Xavier are like trying to get me to like get in Procreate and use the Apple Pencil and like draw, right? And you know, I'm drawing all the time and sketching in a real world, but I had these memories of my first art pieces. And so my dad is a designer, so he had a really big, beautiful drafting table. It's actually bigger than the desk that I have here. So we're talking like, you know, 5x4, maybe larger than that, like 6x3 or something. This huge drafting table. And whenever he would sit me down, he would give me graphing and drafting tools. So I had like the stencils with all the different ellipsis sizes. I had like different like compasses, right? And so my work was always like, and different rulers. So my work was always like lines and like colors. Like I would sketch lines and circles, and everything I did was very shape based. And as I've moved into working in a digital space, I'm still kind of graphing everything. I'm still kind of just working with basic clean shapes, you know, minimalism, typography, like that sort of thing. And it's really like, I love watching you work where it's like, no, this webpage is a canvas, you know, it's a, you know, 1980 by 8,000 pixel canvas, and I'm going to draw a sword that's going to follow me from here to here, right? So there's a question in that. So when I look at like my art background, right, and then I look at your art background, I'm wondering, like, could an AI model ever recreate your portfolio with the moth aesthetic and with like just the simple Gothic elements that I think are very bespoke to you specifically and your life experiences specifically? I don't see how they can be replicated. Now, the work that I do that is way more simple. I'm listening.
I think that we will be there in less than a year. I think that we will be there in less than a year because it trained all of like the DALL-E stuff trained on everyone's DeviantArt
Right.
before we could all opt out. And it was like everyone's art that we had lost the passwords to because it's all just been out there for so long. So all art styles can be replicated now. My friend sent me like 3 AI things yesterday that looked like they had been illustrated in 3 different art styles, and it can just do it in seconds. And that mixed with something like WebSim, which we need to go there right now because that was another thing from Figma.
What's WebSim?
So WebSim is just it's like a few guys, they got together and they made it up. It's websim.ai.
Okay.
And you can just go there and tell it to make a website, and the website will be completely usable.
Okay.
In seconds.
Okay.
So like I went there and I was like, create a website that shows a full tarot deck you can interact with. And I'm gonna tell it with a witchy art style.
Shit. So it's about design thinking. in order to be able to communicate with AI and to be able to use AI, you need to have not just an art style, but you need to have design thinking so that you know exactly what to ask for.
And proper prompt generation.
Right.
So I prompted it, and can I share my screen?
I don't.
Or you don't have a.
I don't.
We don't want to do that right now.
Bro, we gotta do the two. We have to do two more scenes. We have to do a scene with your desk and your face, and we need to do a screen with my desk and my face, which we haven't done it. But just explain it to me, because we're just chatting. We're just friends here, and we can also add it to the blog posts later on. So just talk to me about it.
So this web sim, it has like it creates a fake browser, and it shows you what a website would look like with the tarot deck. And right now the cursor is really cool. It like looks like water droplets, and I'm flipping over each card. Each card is interacted with. And because I said make it witchy, there's no illustrations on the cards, but the it's using like one of those like a Beyond Wonderland style font. It's very old, yeah. And there's like animation so that the it's the in tarot, the suits, it doesn't have the full deck. I'll tell it to do a full
so you said that there were people talking about that at the show. Talk to me about everybody's feeling about it.
So it was not. So these people probably weren't supposed to be walking around with laptops self-promoting. Like if Figma knew about it, they probably would have got mad at them. But they were just sitting in the common area, just showing anyone that would sit down with them this product. While Figma was announcing like software, like some of their AI stuff, like, you know, is similar, but that's within Figma. This is, let's just create a fully interactive website in seconds. Like
with some prompts.
John, yeah. No, that's not his name. What's the guy's name?
And so how did you were too busy running around to be able to see this. Who mentioned it to you, or how was it mentioned to you that it got on your radar?
So I was hanging out with Jim Gold, and Jim Gold had just met them, and the founders of WebSim were there. And just had their laptops out and were just letting you play with it. And so that's how I made a tarot card deck. But you can make it, create a drawing tool. But all of the colors you can use are fairy themed.
And so I think, do you feel, and this is a larger question, but do you feel that it will take, and I feel like I'm channeling Elon Musk right now. Do you feel like it will take us to have some sort of legislation to govern models? Or because like what, you saying... That's... You bringing up DeviantArt, for example, imagine, for that decade that DeviantArt was a go-to for us pre-Dribble, pre-Pinterest. Nobody was creating and sharing on DeviantArt ever imagining that in a million years that their work was going to be extracted and used in that way. right?
Yeah, we didn't know, and they changed the user permissions so that now, I just asked WebSim to create a drawing tool, and I'm able to interact with it and draw with it, and all of the colors are fairy colors. This is so
So what
advanced, it makes me sick,
I
but
would
it just
love,
doesn't look good yet.
but it's enough to give you ideas. And then you, with
Yes.
the tools, can then go in Figma and between, Figma and let's say Claude, for example, fill in all the blanks without having
Yeah.
the discipline, without having the actual, discipline. Um, on a lighter note, the gift cards are looking good. Um, I think I'm at a
Yay!
stopping point. Yeah. Which is a great
Oh
what?
shit.
Uh-oh. You're stressing
So
me out. Uh-oh, what?
I just asked it. So one of the things I'm working on is like a back end product tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't really understand the user experience for what someone might need, but I just asked it to build me an MDM data tool. I don't even like I can't recall exactly what MDM stands for off the top of my head, but that's just because I have a really bad migraine right now. But
Let me know
regardless,
whenever you want to stop and we can shut it down.
no, you're fine. And I did it, and it it's letting me choose a file to upload, to get it to profile the data. I can remove duplicates, standardize the format, fill in missing the. I'm just it. It has all of the tools here
Mm-hmm.
for this back end data tool that, like, it doesn't look pretty, but if it has this experience already here and knows what it would need, it can build anything in like
Okay, okay. Take a deep
it's
breath.
just a
Take a deep
little
breath.
scary.
It is. It's a little.
It's
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, but it's. But so let's take 10 steps back,
sorry.
and then we're gonna
Anyway.
and then yeah, I maybe would like to redirect the conversation a little bit from AI because it is. I
Sorry.
think we're at a point of ignorance that things feel doomy and gloomy. So I tell you a little bedtime story. So,
Okay, thank
I
you.
was I led a marketing department at a company that was pretty old. They were about 100 years old, and there was someone who worked there who was about 80 years old. And I remember everyone kind of whispering and joking that this person does not do email. They don't do email. They don't do email. They don't do email. Right. So if you need to talk to them, you got to pick up the phone and call them. You got to walk over to their desk. And we're like, okay, well, all of our clients, we have thousands of clients and thousands of customers. They use email. And so how are they going to interact with this person who, doesn't do email? And I remember one time having kind of like a substantive conversation with a couple of other colleagues there. And it was like, but she uses the fax machine. So when she first started working here, she's 80, she's been here for 50, 60 years. There was no fax machine. And eventually she embraced the fax machine. There was no copy machine. And eventually she embraced the copy machine, right? And so like, we got to sit down with her and show her, right? Like get her to embrace email. And it was not that email and Outlook is so daunting and difficult to use or manage or maneuver or anything. But the anxiety and fear about the new technology, right, creates that pit in your stomach, right? It's going to take my job. And you do lose some jobs. You do lose
But
lose
I
every
don't
time
think
that
that
technology iterates. That is
yes,
part of
but like
embracing it.
this, like when a sewing machine was invented, it took less time to sew, so people probably
Right.
had to
But there were
specialize
some
in
people that did
embroidery.
not. Right. But there
Yeah.
were also some people that were afraid to learn how to sew. For example, I
Mm.
had an uncle that worked I think he had like worked 40 years in developing film. And he thought that he had the most secure job on earth. He was very kind of pompous and arrogant about his job. And everybody in our family would talk about how, incredible his job was, right? And how great it was that he did this. And then, like, as he got into his late 60s, then digital photography came into place. And I don't think it was scary until I remember my family having conversations about, like, you can walk into a Dwayne Reed or a Walgreens and you can take your micro SD card, right? And you can develop your photos like that without even talking to anybody, right? Mm-hmm. And he started to have this fear, right? And he was like, I don't use computers. To this day, I don't use computers. And so he lost his job, right? And so the same with sewing machines, the same with fax machines, the same with email, right? Every time that technology takes a giant leap, even with phones, there are people who, right, are not comfortable using an iPhone. Mm-hmm. That is just the nature of being in a capitalist society. And we've got to figure out how to embrace all these technologies. We have to advocate for ethics and morals. But we also have to, like, learn, iterate, embrace, and we can't stop learning.
Yo, but
we just can't stop learning.
I'm not mad at this though. Like, I feel like this will speed up the process, and maybe
let's just do it, and let's embrace it. Let's you and I, like we'll play it like jazz. You and I will set up, 2 or 3 hours together. You and I will put a couple prompts together, take some screenshots, bring them back into Figma, right? Redesign. I'll remix the CSS, and let's drop random project. Like, let's drop this witch tarot project. You know what I mean? And put it in both of our portfolios and say, this is how we leveraged this technology. I think it's okay to play in this sandbox, especially as we have some time and we've been like, my big thing, like the past week, I've been reading books cover to cover. All the art books that I've curated over the past 2 years, I just kind of flipped through and like found inspiration. No, I read them cover to cover. So I've been like, kind of like going back to art school in a bit, because all the artists that I have curated books on now, they came into fame in like the 2010s. So I'm kind of looking back at the last decade of art and figuring out like their origin stories and like where'd they go to art school and what are their techniques and what are their approaches and like how do they make merchandise, which is really my thing right now with Clause and Code. And like everybody has to reinvent themselves, right? And so we've got to embrace it. We've got to embrace it.
And I'm about it.
Put it out. We got to SEO it. We got to.
It'll help, right? So like if I don't understand this complex data stuff because I'm not a data analyst, but I'm designing for it, and I ask an AI that does understand this, show me the top 10 things that business analyst would need in a dashboard for an MDM tool. And then it pulls up what visualizations of that could look like. That's brainstorming right there.
It is.
It's brainstorming.
And that's okay. And it's just like me going into Pinterest and saying, I want to do a FAQ page today, and I absolutely know that I'm going to need to have some collapsible tabs. Let me go into Pinterest and search for, modern, minimal FAQ pages with gradients, or in Dribbble, right? You still need someone with a relatively skilled set of like, I guess, skills, right? You still need somebody with a level set of skills to be able to take that and make it into something. So we've got to embrace it.
I would not show a client this. What I would do is take this bar graph and be like, oh, these might be the things that someone would care about in, oh my God. And it even includes, so when you hover
about it, oh my God, I want to see it.
I've been sending you screenshots this whole time.
My bad, bro. I don't have my mess. So when we stream, I don't have messages open on the computer, but I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna do it right now.
It's fair. I've been trying to describe what I'm seeing, but I'm just
it's cool.
because this stuff was over
bar
my
graph,
head, and now. So what I did was I went to Claude, right? And I said, what would a business analyst use MDM data software for? So Claude gave me 10 like data consolidation, integrating data from multiple sources into a unified. It gave me the top 10 things a business analyst would care about, right? So this is my user flow. So then I took these top 10 things and I went into WebSim and I said, build an MDM tool complete with sample data that a business analyst would use. Be sure to include the following, and copied and pasted the top 10 things from Claude. And WebSim built it out visually, complete with like a dashboard with a bar graph that I hover over the data quality metrics, and it's showing me that data quality completeness 95% in a hover state. It built a backend data app in seconds. And it's not one that's like usable, but if this software was in Figma,
right.
And with all of the data from all of the designers, so that this would actually be put into a function, like with the visual design, because that's the WebSim's problem, is that it is shit at visual design, but it creates a functional thing.
Right.
So it's good for UX.
So I do have one scene that I could probably share this, but I am looking at like the dashboard with the different widgets and modules, and even the data utilization, the little pentagon at the bottom. It's wild, scary. Also, like I said, like very usable. Let's just embrace it. And I think I want that to be like the takeaway, is like, let's just embrace it. And
we have to, because it's here. It's not going away. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. What else is fucking going on? What else did we say we're going to talk about? We were going to talk about
dragons.
Well, before we go into dragons, hold up. Have you used UI3?
No, I didn't apply for it.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to take 2 minutes to gush over UI3. Okay.
Oh, really? You love it?
I fucking love it. I couldn't find plugins earlier today, so that was like, it forced me to click around a couple places. I also needed to create a compound shape, so figuring out where that was interesting. It took me interesting. And then where plugins and widgets are, I have a mesh gradient widget. Figuring out where that was took a couple minutes. The only thing that I wish I was able to do is to take this floating toolbar that's at the bottom and move it to the top, specifically for my screen pairing right now. So I am talking to you on my brand spanking new MacBook Air, but behind that is a gaming screen. I think it's 25. No, it might actually, is it 4K? I don't know. It's double wide. It's like a double wide screen. And so there's actually about an inch of screen space at the bottom of that I can't see because my laptop is in front of it. Like, they're not on a riser or whatever. And so the fact that the toolbar on Figma falls right behind that when I have it on the bigger screen is frustrating for me. I think I mentioned it in a Twitter thread, and I think Raji liked my response. So I'm hoping that eventually that floating toolbar, it really should be able to be moved anywhere. So like in Adobe, right? I can take those toolbars and I can hide them and show them and slide them wherever I want to slide them. I would love to see that. I also would love to be able to collapse. Oh, right. That collapse works. And then the command period, was a command period that makes it go away. Yeah. So I have absolutely no frustrations with UI3. I think they made a really incredible best effort, and the execution of how it looks and feels was incredible. And I don't know why everybody's so angry at it. You haven't used it yet. We should do that together.
Mm-hmm.
We should do that together. I've had it for about a week. I
haven't loved it.
Yeah. I promise you, we're gonna make those 2 extra scenes for our screen sharing. And then we should be Gucci. I also think I might have some of the scenes, but because I haven't labeled them correctly, I don't really know what they are. I don't know if I might have it already, but my bad, bro. So yeah, UI3, and then Figma Slides. You were gonna talk about Figma Slides. Remember that?
Well, I haven't. I was wanting to get like your opinion on it.
Oh. I have no need for it.
I haven't. Yeah, right I haven't had a need for it yet. I saw Anshuman talking about how they don't really like building in it, so they'll just build in regular Figma and then copy it over into Slides so that they can put the notes in for the speaker notes, but that's the only thing.
So it's like you would do the same thing in Keynote or whatever. Anyway. Okay. I haven't touched it at all. I haven't opened it. Like I was so grateful that I got UI3. And I had like things that I had to actually like do in Figma. So I've just been like focused on getting those things out the door. You've got to give me, like, I can support you with Figma Slides, but I don't have like a direct need for it just yet. So I wouldn't go over there unless you made me.
Yeah. I'll probably have a use case for it pretty soon.
Good.
Because my clients are trying to get pitch meetings with VCs, but to do that, they need a really good website. So I'm about to do their good website, and then from the website,
of course,
then they would get the pitch meeting. So then they would need a pitch deck, and people good at business and good
at the same time. If you're doing the UI and the website and the UX and the pitch deck, it's going to take months. Okay.
Well, that's why we're switching it around. We're switching it around. That's why we're stopping on the UI right now. We're putting a pause on it, and I'm working on the website now.
All right, bet. So you've got. Have you done pitch decks before?
Yeah. No.
Awesome.
I've had pitch decks make, I think, $750,000, which isn't really that much, but
it is. No, it is
for fun, like one of the pitch decks that I made for like a bank sold the bank for like that much, which like it is or like the app deal. And that's why I'm like, that's
everything. Is not a fucking unicorn, bro. Everything is not VC funding, bro.
Yeah.
House of Dragons.
I didn't make that money. I mean the company I made.
No, I got you. House of Dragons.
House of fucking
Dragons. Gang. Shout out to all my black people on Dragonstone with a little bit of that drip of Valerian blood in them, okay? Out here riding dragons and shit. Shout out to my crew.
I'm Adam. But I was watching this gray area. Gray area is like my favorite.
Tell me about it.
Okay, she's so funny. She's like, I'm here with the juice to get you through the long night. Like anytime. She's like, she knows so much about the books. Like
oh wow,
like insane.
That's
and so she will go through and explain everything. And she's like, she was pointing out that the dragon rider, the Adam, I think was his name, of Hull, that he says that his father is of little consequence, but his dad is the sea snake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
the tweet that I really loved was like, so you telling me Dragonstone is right around the corner? Because like in that last scene, like it was like they were there in 2 seconds.
They were right next
it's literally right there. Very lit, very lit. No, it's interesting. I mean, it's just like you've got little dragons and you've got big dragons and you got young dragons and you got some dragons that have been to battle, so they've got holes in their wings, and you've got old dragons and young dragons. You've got dragon eggs. You got dragons in the cave. You got like it's just so many dragons and two queens. One who's like, get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of my house. This is my house. And another one is like, nah, this is my house. Your father said I can have this house. Your father said this is my house. I should be the fucking queen. So just the dynamic of the fact that there's like this long distance warfare that I thought was had a much longer distance. I need to like look at the map now. It's like, yo, Dragonstone, like y'all fighting, the Dragonstone is right around the corner.
Yeah, Dragonstone, from what I remember, is the first place that they landed when I think that's where Aegon Targaryen landed, Aegon the Conqueror,
Okay.
went from Old Valyria. So I forgot how much of a nerd I am for this shit. Oh man.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. I love this.
What was my text to you last night? It was like, bro, like Zaddy, come on, Zaddy. Like it's time for dragons. Like, let's go. I was ready to watch it with you. I've been binge watching all these Apple TV shows and I almost missed it. Like I was just like, oh, it's 9:00. It's time to watch it. But no, it's been a wild ride, and there is one episode left.
Wow.
So it will be interesting.
Only one?
There's one more left. It's the season finale. What do you think is gonna happen? Do you think there's gonna be a war, right? We have never had a Game of Thrones season finale without a war.
Well, absolutely. I mean, because wasn't last finale when the dragons out the sky, like fucking. So now we're getting like other people riding the dragon. She's
right,
but it's challenging her own children's claim to the throne because her kids. One reason why they can say that they're not bastards is because
they can ride the dragons.
And if you're just letting anyone with Valyrian blood, including bastards, ride dragons,
and she's
your
like,
kid's claim is
she's
even
like,
worse.
I want to avoid war. I'm doing this to avoid war, right? And every episode, she says it over and over. I'm doing this to avoid war. You don't want me to get in the dragon and go over there and fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Y'all don't want to let me leave this room. Every time she leaves the castle, she got to sneak out. Y'all don't want me to leave this room. I'm the queen, okay? Like, even though I have a prince, but okay, you don't want me to leave this room. The only way I know how to fight this war is to get all the bastards on the dragons and to be a show of force. And I don't know. Is it going to pay off? We will see. Mm-hmm. You've got there's a lot going on in the Riverlands right now. There's a lot going on in the Riverlands. There's a bit of an army in the Riverlands. And then also
and
the people have now been fed also. And so I wonder
so Rhaenyra fed them.
Rhaenyra fed the people.
And they almost fucking killed Alicent.
Yo, Alicent, what did they throw at her face? It was like a tomato. They hit her. Yo, I mean, do they not have money? Like, are they out of money?
What?
Like Alicent.
Like who?
Alicent.
No, I think it's just there is a blockade. So.
Oh, right.
So I'm gonna send you. So I'm on an interactive map right now, but basically, Dragonstone is an island that sort of is in front of this bay, and at the back of the bay is King's Landing. So if they block off between the two peninsulas, they can get all the resources going to Dragonstone and none of the resources going to King's Landing. And King's Landing actually is pretty close to Dragonstone.
It's right
so
there,
I'm
bro.
gonna, yeah, it's like right there.
It's right there, bro. I gotta open messages. Oh, you're gonna send it here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I needed to see the map, bro. I was so confused. I'm like, yo, they're right there.
Yeah,
oh my God.
it's
the
like
fact
right
that there is a map of this fucking fake shit is crazy.
Yo, and it's
white people.
Spoiler free.
This some white people shit. Oh my God.
Because you can click through like Jon Snow's path throughout every episode, and like, yeah.
Dragonstone is right there. So
and
funny.
It's interesting because I wonder if you click on Tyrion's path, because his path is different show versus book, and it lets you sort by chapters and episodes. So I wonder if I look at
not the Song of Ice and Fire, not the Dothraki. That's funny. You are a nerd. Did you know that you were a nerd? You didn't know that you were a nerd.
Yes.
Matt has stepped into the room.
Hey Matt, we're talking dragons.
Yeah, but Matt and I need to be talking Shopify sites. I just did another one, Matt. In about a day. What's good, Matt? Let's get this bag.
Oh my God, Matt,
I don't want you to be in a place of discomfort, Matt. However, I think that this is the turning point that we needed to get the bag. I'm gonna slide right in your DMs. Let's make it happen, baby. What else is going on? You read all what books? Oh, the Game of Thrones books. Shout out to everybody who is listening. The conversation is happening on Twitch, on my Joy Jetson page. I'm gonna actually drop the socials real quick for me today. Please follow and support us everywhere.
When you say all of them, are you including like the book that the like the history novels and like the extra books, Matt, or are you just talking about through like the Song of Ice and Fire series? Because like the show we're watching now, what's it called? A Dance of Dragons? No, that's not right.
House of the Dragon. House of Dragons.
Right, The Dance of Dragons is the name of them. Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out what the book. So, Dance of the Dragons.
All of them. Period. All of them. Oh,
the fifth.
All of them means all of them. When did you?
Yeah.
When did you have time?
I'm such a nerd. I'm like this too.
Not you. I'm talking about Matt. When did you have time, Matt? And I'm sharing the. I found the scene. I'm sharing the map with our viewers. So here is King's Landing. Right here. Can I get mouse mosaic working? Nope. Right here. And then you got Dragonstone right here. So it is right around the corner. And so Jay was talking about the blockade.
You pulled up the fucking.
Yes, I did.
I love this.
Sure did.
This is my favorite.
And so Jay was saying there's a little blockade here. So they can't. They don't have no food. They got no food.
Yeah. And that's why she sent the food.
Shout out to Rhaenyra.
She's like, yeah.
Rhaenyra's a bit of a troll. Now that Rhaenyra got her girlfriend. Now that Rhaenyra got a girlfriend, Rhaenyra's seeing with crystal clear clarity. For sure. For sure. Oh my god. What is this other scene? What is it? Vids only? Oh, vids only! This one's lit. Okay. What's this one? What's this one? Oh, that's nothing. Okay. Yeah. So this is the map.
I love this interactive map because you can follow the characters. I don't think it has like look at Tyrion and switch between. Okay, so click on Tyrion out on the right. You see where you can click on the characters.
I got them. It's a little buggy for me. I think it's because I'm streaming, but I did click on Tyrion and I don't see.
Okay, so when you click on Tyrion up at the top, you'll have to go through and there's a little slider. So that's, and so you've got to move it all the way to the end and it'll show you his path. And then you click between chapters and episodes. And it shows you how his path changes between the show and the, like canonically in the show, it's a different path than in the books.
Jay did not read all the books.
I did read it. Well, I read through the series as far as A Song of Ice and Fire is concerned, but I haven't read the editions. So like the one that House of the Dragon is based off of, I haven't read. But I have read through the point that House of the Dragon is in that book. I just haven't finished it. I forgot about it for a year.
Weird flex, bro. Weird flex, bro. Weird flex. Weird flex.
So no, I haven't read the Dunkin' Egg yet. I'm like, but I do love watching commentary, and so I've seen like so many gray area videos and like other YouTube commentary. Like I fall asleep watching a Game of Thrones commentary like on the regular. And so I'm very familiar with like all of the fan theories about things like Jojen paste. Did Bran actually eat a paste made out of Jojen when he became the Green Seer or whatever the fuck? Or he is the Green Seer when he became the Free-Eyed Raven. And stuff like that. And like, I want to know what the Maesters are up to. Are the Maesters responsible for actually killing all the dragons and stuff like that? Okay, I will read the Dunkin' Egg books. Thank you. Sorry, we me and Matt are just nerding out now, and you're just like looking like, what the fuck did I get into?
I need to make a scene. I need to make a scene with just your face. Okay, there needs to be kind of like a whites only screen and a blacks only screen. Because I don't know if my community and audience could follow you as far down this rabbit hole as Matt and you can go.
That's not true. Have you searched the hashtag Dim Dragons? It's just Black Twitter talking about House of Dragons. And Dim Thrones was just Black Twitter talking about Game of Thrones.
I will not. I promise you I will not. I will not. I'm like Queens and Dragons. You're like, so the entire etymology behind each of the words. Jesus Christ.
What about it?
What else do we have on the agenda for today? Jesus Christ. I think that's it. So we talked about AI and Figma, UI3, Slides, House of Dragons. I did. Oh, me and Matt about to get a bag. Shout out. There are new phone cases on clawsandco.com. I'm excited about it. They're super cute. I hope you guys check those out. And then we're going to drop gift cards at some point today. So that'll be a vibe, a way for you guys to support and give gift cards to your tech loving, non-binary and female and women and girls in your lives.
Yes.
who like cute tech and who are dreamers and streamers.
Don't gender this. What? Boys can have cute
every time
too.
that I say, I know, but every time that I go to write about the brand, it's like, first it was like drip for digital divas. Then it was like, it's like hashtag girls who code. Then it's like hashtag non-binary, like hashtag women, hashtag dev girls. It's just, I don't even know how to say that it's fucking cozy and cute without getting gender in the mix. But I am willing to learn. We got to figure it out together because it's really hard. Like, I want to be about female empowerment, but it's like, it doesn't mean that I'm not about like LGBTQ and like, right? I don't know. Why are you just like staring?
Because I'm watching a TikTok about a blanket called the couples blanket that is made for squirters, I'm assuming. Yuck. And I'm like, why did this come up on my page? And anyway,
probably because we were talking about what was he again? A gay porn author?
Oh yeah. Rocky is
The AI is listening. The AI is listening. Mm-hmm. Don't send it to me. Don't fuck up my algorithm. My Instagram algorithm is absolutely perfect. I want no parts. I want no parts. It is about HBO Max and get the stacks. I don't know, Matt. Jay could touch that. If Jay wants to touch it, Jay could touch it. I'm not trying to touch it.
Oh, the Bank of Bravos and how they probably ordered the faceless men to kill. Yeah. This is. I love it. Joy, I need you to just really. I need you to watch.
I'm gonna DM you. I'm good. Wherever you're going with that, the answer is no. Whatever your question, whatever your suggestion is, the answer is no. Matt, I'm sliding your DM right now. I don't want to publicly broadcast the project that I just finished. But I'm going to DM it to you, and I would like for you to give me your feedback on the quality of the work and let me know if we've got a strong enough portfolio between the two of us. I think maybe we can put a landing page together. What do you think? And SEO optimize that bit. What do you think? And put both of our beautiful faces there and say, you know, this is what we do. I sent it to you. I absolutely love deving and designing in Shopify. I never thought that I would, but I love it so much. A lot of instant gratification. It's reliable. Sorry, you guys can go back to the Bank of Bravos if you'd like.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool.
You can go back to the Bank of Bravos and the history of House of Dragon. I don't think there has ever been a show at the scale or level of quality as Game of Thrones. I don't even think that Lord of the Rings compares.
Oh, it does not.
And we are so blessed to be living in a time.
The costume designer, first of all, is the best costume designer in the business. They hired the best embroiderist in the business.
Rhaenyra's red dress in that last scene when she was standing in front of the red dragon, and they're not, like, her dresses are not even effeminate. Do you notice that? She's got, like, non-binary dresses in a way. Because she can't wear pants.
That makes sense.
But they're very
structured. The actor themselves is non-binary.
Oh, I love that.
There's a clip of them going, oh, you know, I love a Negroni Spagliato with Prosecco in it. And you're just like, the fuck, bitch? my God, the theory about if Joaquin was Arya's water dancing. Matt, we're gonna have to talk offline.
I'm afraid of
Matt.
that. I'm afraid of that.
You get me.
Shout out to Miggy. Shout out to Tabitha Wolf. Shout out to Misu. Shout out to Sean Collins. Always for sharing our live on Twitter. Y'all are amazing.
Hell yeah.
There's so many people that joined the live on IG. I didn't shout anyone out, but I love all of you. Who's JRRT? I'm afraid to ask.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, okay.
The person
sorry.
who wrote Lord of the Rings.
I didn't know that that acronym.
No,
lost on
you're
me
fine.
And my people.
So Lord of the Rings was interesting because from a filmmaking standpoint, they had to create software that would 3D render army scenes and battle scenes because that hadn't existed before. And when they created that software, there would always be detractors within the software that would just run away from the battle. It's never really been explained. Anyway, but it was made in the 90s. Game of Thrones,
right?
Their costume designer did so much research, like, because it's based around Tudor era, like a lot of it's based on the War of the Roses, like Game of Thrones is.
Yeah.
And so back in that time period, they weaved their own fabrics. So Game of Thrones, the costume department weaved their own fabrics for a lot of these dresses that the main characters wear. And
the weight and volume of the fabric is top notch.
Like, I had a roommate whose mom made handmade threads, and they purchased, like, some of the people from Game of Thrones purchased her threads and like sent her a message about like what scene and what episode they used her threads in. Like, it's insane, like, it's the level epic of detail that they go to for like period accuracy for it being fantasy and not actually a period.
Yeah. No, totally. And there's like literally nothing that compares. There's not even anything cinematic that has come out in the past decade that is at that level.
And that's the thing, is just putting this on in the background, even though half of the scenes are shot around a table, the other half are like the scene with Rhaenyra and that other dragon rider and them like far apart on the beach. So beautiful.
It was incredible. I played it back Austen, 3 times.
Oh my God. That was beautiful.
That scene. Even when I can't remember not Aemon. I can't remember the guy with the patch. What's his name?
Aegon? Aemond?
Aegon.
Are we sure it's not Aemond?
Aegon. Yeah, Aegon is the
Aegon
one that
One-Eye?
was. Yeah, Aegon One-Eye. He was, like he was just filled with rage, right? And just races with the horse and hops on his dragon and heads straight to follow the other dragon. And he's like, "Yo, pull back, bro. It's wild over there." And like, when he turned to that scene of, the dude that could barely drive fly the dragon, right? Like trying to make his way as fast as he could back to fucking back to the Dragonstone. And then she's just standing here like, "Yo, bring it. Now I got 3. Bring it." It's like, oh my God. But the scene, the cinematography, the costume design, the plot twists, there's so many different families and so many different relationships between each of those characters and how they all, right? Like, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I'm excited for the season finale. I wish I was with you. Oh my God. I would love to cuddle with you and watch it. It's so good.
Oh my God.
It's going to be so
I
bad.
miss
We gotta do a watch party next week. Maybe we stream it. Let's stream the watch party.
Yeah, I'm about it.
I'm
about it.
Be a vibe.
Because now I'm caught up.
Yeah, finally, bro. Matt, Jay was not even caught up. Like, I'm like, I want to talk about it. That was last Sunday. I'm like, bro, can we watch? Oh, we can't even watch it. You didn't even. Then Jay's like, I don't have time. I'm like, you don't have time because we're doing what? Like, looking for fucking lesbian fucking porn on Amazon Prime right now? Like,
we did go through a little
but we weren't even looking for we were not even looking for gay movies, yo. I was just looking for rom-coms that were like in my watch list, and I was looking far down. I was like, what was in my watch list from 3 months ago that I never watched? And it just so happened that we watched like 3 gay rom-coms back to back to back. What was the action movie we saw with Kristen Stewart?
Mission Impossible. Oh
no.
Love Lies Bleeding, I think.
Love Lies Bleeding. I don't know. It's really good. Kristen Stewart is oof.
Oh my god.
Oh, so hot.
That was really good.
So hot. Such a hottie. It was really good. It was really violent. It was really violent, and it was like hand-to-hand violent. Where like Mission Impossible was like not really a lot of blood, tasers, right? And some knife fighting. No, Kristen Stewart was like, they were like stomping people's face in. You're like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, when that girl went and just punched it in the face, and the face was just concave when they showed it in the other shot.
Yo, wild. I'm starting to get hungry, baby.
And then I went, we should wrap up soon because it's like 4 minutes till. Wait, let's wrap at 5 your time.
I fuck with that.
But yeah, I also have been wounded because I was dumb and I went.
Why don't you tell everybody about your life choices? About how you flat left me. I needed you in that moment. Okay, flat left me to fucking skateboard into God knows where. Tell us. Tell everyone.
So I was hanging out with Joy on FaceTime for days, and one day I was like, Joy, I think I'm gonna go hang out at my friend's house.
I think I'm gonna go outside.
And so I was like, I'll go longboarding, but I could only find one of my knee pads, so I decided not to wear them. And I was like, it's fine. I'm only going a short distance, but I hadn't longboarded in a long time. And so I go and I'm like a block away from my friend's house. Like I'm almost there because they live about half a mile away. And I was going down a hill and I fucking got scared because I was going fast, which would have been fine if I had stayed on the board.
Oh my God.
But I got scared because I was going so fast, so I reached out with my foot to stop it, and the board just kept on going, and I scorpioned straight into the ground. So I basically just hands first, pressed away from my face to protect my face. My ribs hit the ground. I was wearing a crop top.
It's not funny.
And my knee hit the ground. My arm right here hit the ground, and I lost the skin on my palms. And it was all because I wanted to go get dinner and not keep hanging out with you, and I should have just
emotionally support me.
Look, I think, sometimes we need to go touch grass because we will get on this thing where we're talking about like the men in our lives that make us depressed or who knows what.
Analyzing and overanalyzing.
Yeah. And we just need to go outside get some air, remember our value, and that's what I needed to do.
And what did you learn? What is your
face planted
value?
into the ground,
Oh
and
my
I
god.
realized that it was a metaphor for what I was doing in my love life. Actually, was face planting into the ground. Um,
Um, I I I beg to. Well, whatever. Yeah, ground is bad, and so Jay has bandages everywhere. Okay, Jay's got bandages
yeah,
on. Yeah, so Jay has learned their lesson. Okay, either we touch grass together, or we suffer together. Jay's been like my emotional
God
support
damn it.
dog for the past like 2 weeks. Oh no, Got wasn't out
I
yet.
was in the house.
Yeah, Got that. This was Friday.
Yeah, it was
It was
technically
Friday.
before, but I should have. You're right. I should have been rewatching episodes because I haven't been paying enough attention to know what's really going on. So you're right. You're so right. I should just be better. Um,
It's
so
okay.
true, bestie. So true, besties.
Um. So thank you for. Okay. So before I talk about thank you for today, um, there's not a 48-hour period that doesn't go by that Jay doesn't say, Joy, we haven't streamed in a long time. Joy, we should stream. But Jay is like the most empathetic, no pressure human. I don't even know how I like if I had to report to Jay, if Jay was the boss, I don't even know how Jay would redirect me. Because as soon as I say, I want to meditate, or I want to read a book, or I'm about to cook, Jay just lets it go, right? But Jay has been, because we didn't stream for the entire month of July.
Wow.
And I did capture content. I have been creating. I have been, adding new products to the shop. I have been doing lots of photography. I've been traveling. Like, I've been doing shit, but I just could not kind of bring myself to streaming. And so I just want to say thank you for pushing me without pressuring me.
Thank you for
Even though I'm built for pressure. Look, thank you for
Oh, look at you.
thank you for pushing me without pressuring me. And I'm so glad that we did this today, even though I'm not loving my curls and the red lipstick
Yo,
makes me
I didn't feel like
self-conscious.
streaming either.
And I know, but I'm
It
happy we
feels like an
did.
ice pick is like, it feels like I'm actively getting a lobotomy right now. Like, it
Oh my
feels
God.
like
All
something
right,
is
let's
shoved.
we can cut it. We can
But,
cut it.
but like, it's gonna be that way regardless. And so thanks for making me, like, motivating me to actually get up and, I don't know, sit at my desk for once. Who knows? I might take a nap and then wake up from my nap and apply to jobs or something so I can call
Okay.
today productive.
I will be here. I'm gonna have something to eat and then salvage the day. Matt, always great to see you. Thank you for everybody who pulled up. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. Always,
Yeah.
always. Where else are we streaming? Who even knows at this point? But I will have this posted on the blog tomorrow so you guys can catch up with it. And I'm going to get better at linking out to everything that we're talking about. So there were a couple things that Jay was talking about today with AI and with Game of Thrones. And so I'll make sure that I include all of that on clawsandco.com. We will be back sooner than later, I promise. Are we going to do peace sign? I think that's like our thing now. We did a little peace sign. So the hearts don't work. So hearts don't work unless I'm like on FaceTime. So it doesn't just work. I just have to. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No. Okay. So we'll do peace sign. Peace sign. Peace sign.
No balloons.